Hi, welcome to my thrifted home. My name is Dusti, where I love thrifting, decorating, and everything home. And I also love Jesus, and I'm happy to share that with you. So enjoy! Good morning. Welcome to my thrifted home. It is 6:13. I'm a little bit behind what I wanted to be, but it is what it is. So be it. That's because when I got up, I was trying to make sure I got the plants watered before I left because it's going to be almost 90 today, and I found out yesterday when I neglected to water a few of them, they weren't happy about it. So in this heat, they need some water. Anyway, I'm on to an estate sale put on by L&M, which I love them. Lance and Michelle are amazing. They have you sign in 2 hours before. It starts at 9, so the sign-in sheet will start at 7. And I get people already usually are there well before the sign-in sheet and start like lining up, so to speak, so that they sign into the sheet when they got there. As long as I'm in the top 10, that's all I care about. I wouldn't be surprised if I see Deb there because L&M never advertises their jewelry if they have any. And she's a big fan of the jewelry. She wants the real gold, the real silver, especially the gold. She's got some app or something she goes to and even sees what the price per gold is like right at this minute. I'm like, I don't know. My gold is all the treasures, all the tchotchkes, all the like ironstone and transferware and old folding tape measures. That's my gold. To each their own. And if she wants to do brand names and expensive stuff, then kudos. It works great because she's buying what I don't care about and I'm buying what she doesn't care about, so it works well. I'm not competing. Hopefully Harry will be there. I haven't seen him for a while. I know he had surgery and was still in recovery, so hopefully he's back in the saddle again, as you will. I don't know if I'll see any of the other regulars. It'll be interesting. Like I said, last time I went, I saw Big Hair Sheila, and I was completely shocked. It's like a rare sighting of Bigfoot, and I was pretty ecstatic, alive and well, with all of her big stories, although unfortunately I missed them because I got there just like 5 minutes before they opened the sale. But it was put on by Enchanted Forest, and I really like their sales. I hope they do more. But we'll see what we can get into. Stay tuned for the haul. Hi friends, welcome back. Welcome to the haul. This is the good part. What did I get? Anything that might go in my shop that you might want? And just to clarify, it's an Etsy shop. I don't have a booth. I don't have a local brick and mortar. I just have an online Etsy shop. I also do have an Amazon storefront, which none of this came from Amazon. And then I also have a spread shop that's linked in my YouTube channel, where you can buy vintage designs that my daughter and I, Haley, have put together. And you can order them on any image you want on any type of thing, whether you want a hat or a tote bag or a t-shirt or an apron. But anyway, how about the haul? It was a good haul, a lot of good vintage. I guess the people in the house had lived there all their lives. And it's in a little town called Salemsburg, which was about 35-minute drive from here. And cute little town. There was some drama. When I got there, there was a lady waiting on the porch. I saw Deb's car, but I didn't see Deb. And I parked in the front behind Deb, and nobody was coming, and nobody was coming. And I'm like, what's going on here? And where's the sign-up sheet? Because it's an L&M. There's always a sign-up sheet. L&M and Old Hickory, which is L&M's daughter, always have sign-up sheets. And I didn't see it. And then it got to be after 7 and I still didn't see it. So I was like, what's going on? Then I saw some people from across the street walk over to the house and walk behind the house. And I was like, hey, wait a minute. You can't be going back there and like looking at stuff. Hello. Well, then the same lady that walked back there walked up front and said, hey, I don't know if you know, but there's parking in a lot behind the house. It's all flagged off. And the sign-up sheet is on a chair in the back. And I was like, oh. So I said, well, how do you get there? So she told me. So I went around the block and came and parked and signed up. And I was number 13 already. Yikes. And everybody that signed in except for the handful of people that were there were already gone. They'd signed in and left, which is the nice thing about L&M's, which is what I did. I signed in and I went and got gas because I was low. So went and got gas, came back, found out Deb and Harry were there, but they had been out for breakfast and they came back. So we all chit-chatted. I met Homer. I've seen him before, but I met him officially, and I like him. He's got some great tales to tell. So then we all stood up towards the front congregating, and of course more people came up and signed in. And this one gentleman came up to sign in, and he was like, and it was probably, oh my goodness, not even 8:30. So we still had like 40 minutes to go before the sale would open. And he's like, okay, so we sign in. Can we go look out back? And Jeb's like, no, you just sign in, and then when it gets closer to the time for the sale to open, Lance will come let us in. Okay, but can we just look around? And she's like, no. And he's like, we just can't go out back here and just kind of, not in the house, just out back here, because there's like three outbuildings. One of them was a garage. And Deb's like, no, you can't go looking in them. You have to wait, and when he calls you up, then he'll let so many people into the house. So you mean we just can't just sign in and go in? No, sir, you can't. She had to tell him 4 times that he could not just sign in and just start going and looking and shopping. And it's like, none of us get to, including you, dude. That's why there's a list. You have to wait till you're read off the list by Lance. So, holy smokes. So finally, Lance did come up and let us in. So that was awesome. I guess, which I didn't know, that when Lance got there, because like I said, there was 3 outbuildings, like 2 were like almost like sheds and 1 was a garage. The people were back there looking around when he pulled up, and he kind of had to run them off, because it's like, you don't get to shop early. That's not how this works at all. But people forget their manners sometimes at estate sales, and it gets kind of obnoxious. But thankfully, I got pretty much everything I wanted, which is good. And I don't think people are looking at the same stuff I do. I don't know if I just have really weird taste or what, but it is what it is, and I'm thankful. So let's get started on the haul. So I found this picture, and at first I was like, more ironstone maybe, but it says on the bottom, Homer Laughlin Hudson. And it does have the beautiful crazing, and it's a little bit more simplistic than I would normally get, but something about it I love, so I'm keeping that. Then I also got this old book. It's called Everyday Foods by Harris and Lacey, revised by Homer Mifflin Company. And on the inside, she wrote out chocolate cream pie. Absolutely love that when there's writing and underlining and stuff like that. And the publication date is 1944. So love this old book, old cookbook. Got some old pictures in there. See if I can find one. Look at that kitchen. I love it. Love it, love it. Isn't that awesome? So I got that. Then I got this little, I don't know what it's made out of. It's got velvet on the bottom, but hopefully it'll read because it's kind of dark. But it's a little like cabin house. And I like little houses. And it reminds me of like Little House in the Big Woods, Laura Ingalls. So I will be keeping that to add to my collection. Then I found this, and it needs its chimney, and it's a smaller one, you can see by my hand. And I love it with the amber glass. I probably am going to try and save it for fall time. I'll need to see if I can find me the chimney that will fit, because it looks pretty small, but I'll have to see, because sometimes Amazon has good replacement chimneys, so I'll just have to see if there's one that's small enough to fit this. And I also got this old picture. It's marked number 1256, Salmon's Jesus and the Children lithograph in 6 colors, made in the USA. So I love this old picture. Hopefully it's not too much of a glare. I'm not even sure how I'm going to hang it. Probably Velcro strips. But I love these old like lithograph pictures, especially of Jesus. I think they're amazing. And I got this for Haley. It's a nice basket, and on the bottom it's marked Jewel Boss 1198, and it's got whatever this emblem is. But I liked that it was divided. I thought she might like it for silverware or whatever, but I thought it was a nice, unique, and then a nice firm base, nice little basket. And since I can't seem to find them on the beach, I bought myself some sand dollars. I love them, but to find them whole, is really unusual. And there is a beach, I don't remember where, somewhere along the coast of North Carolina, where you can go and actually collect them, and they congregate, and there's bunches of them. But you can only pick them up if they're dead. If they're still alive, you have to leave them. But you can go and pick up as many as you want as long as they're not alive. So one of these days, maybe I'll venture to the beach. But I love these. And then Harry found me one of the old folding tape measures, and I just love these. I love these. I already have 7 of them, but I can't seem to stop collecting them now. And I love how old and worn this one is, so love it. And then I found these 2 books. One's Fleischmann's Bread Machine Favorites and Sunbeam Bread Machine. And I have a bread machine, but I really only use it for a dough machine, put dough in it. But I'll look through because I love bread recipes. I know everybody's all about like low carbs, no carbs, and hey, just more carbs for me is how I see it. Then I got this very old looking, I don't know if it is old, but it definitely looks worn and well used, rolling pin to add to my collection. And then I also got this rolling pin, which the paint looks really good, but I love how worn it is, and whatever this label is on it, I just think that's super cool. And then I got this picture for Haley. I thought she would enjoy it on one of her gallery walls. And hopefully you can see that it's handmade, hand-stitched, cross-stitched. Well, maybe not cross-stitched. It might be cruel looking at it, but it's beautiful. So I thought she would like that. Then I got these 2 baby spoons, children's spoons. And this one is marked, looks like Madison silver plate. So there's this little guy. I'm such a sucker for silverware, especially children's silverware. And then this one is marked Victorian Rose. I can't make out the rest of it, but baby spoon. I'm going to have to cheat later and like take a picture of it and then blow it up so I can read it. Like a magnifying glass. And I got this plate, and it's unmarked on the back, but I think the platter is just beautiful. I love the flowers on it, and I might have to find a spot for it now with my summer decor because I just love it. It's beautiful. And then the last, let's see, I got some frames for Haley. So I got her this frame, these 2 frames. She's collecting frames because she's going to create a new gallery wall in her bedroom. So I told her I would look for frames for her to do that. And when we get to the point where it's finished, we'll share it with you. And then the last thing I got for Haley is this. It's marked Ann's Kitchen, and her grandma's name was Grandma Ann. And Grandma Ann passed away, I think it was the January right after COVID, so 2021 maybe. And she was a very special lady. And so this person's name must have been Ann because they had 2 things that said Ann's Kitchen, but this is the one that Haley liked and wanted to pick for her kitchen. And I applaud her on her taste because I love the strawberries. But there was also this one, Ann's Kitchen, that I thought was cool, and thought since it's kind of that mid-century, like boho vibe, she'd like it, but she liked the berries better. So this one will probably go in my shop. So if your name is Ann, or you know an Ann, like in Haley's case, it's your grandma, or maybe your mom, maybe an aunt, and you'd like it in your kitchen, this will be in the shop. Then we have a 1968 version of the Better Homes new cookbook. And oh my gosh, where's the picture? You have to see the image. Look at that kitchen. How awesome is that? I love the images in here from the 60s. I mean, look at that. This one is in great condition. So this will be in my shop. And then we have another Betty Crocker's all-time favorite recipes. And this is from 1974. And again, it's got some, let's see if I can find a big one. Some good, great pictures in it. Yep, look at that. Love it. Where's my favorite section, the desserts? There we go. That's more like it. There, that is Paige. And then I also have 2 of these, and they're both going in my shop. Corn whiskey jugs. It says, aged in the hills, Platte Valley, straight corn whiskey, distilled and bottled in McCormick Distilling Company, Weston, Kentucky. So I thought those would be fun for somebody. And then also kind of similar, this is called Seaforth Shaving Lotion for Men. And on the back, Alfred McKelvey Company, New York, New York. So this is from my shop. And I don't know how old these are. They're marked made in Taiwan, but they seem to make me think maybe late 80s. Because I don't know why I think my mother had them, but salt and peppers with the roosters. My mom collected roosters, so that's probably why she had them somewhere. And then they have this little, it says Derby Whiskey, this little mug. Thought it was cute for my shop. And then there's this, if you're thinking in terms of you want a little trinket box, or maybe you're thinking next year ahead for Valentine's Day, but this beautiful little heart velvet lined trinket box. Look at the detailing. I just think it's stunning. I love all that kind of detailing from the like Victorian Regency style. Then this is also for my shop. I've had them in the past, and people have bought them, and I don't know if they're using them like how they're intended, but I have one hanging by this on a wall, and then I can change the art out whenever I want. Penny also sent me an idea where they removed this or somehow worked around it and like wallpaper or contact papered it so it'd have a background. But when I looked at the fact that this is in the way and that's a lot of cutting to figure out, I decided I was not going to do it. So, but this will be in my shop if you'd want a change up little like type of clip for your home, so you can change up like if you have children's artwork or whatever. So there's that. And I have 2 Bibles, white and red. And this one is from 1983, Aunt Thelma. And I don't think there's anything in it from Aunt Thelma, but beautiful Bible. Love the Bibles. And then this one is, let's see, 1979. So got 2 Bibles. And then the last coveted tomato spoon. That was the debate with Harry and Debbie. They both thought it was a cranberry spoon, but I said it was a tomato spoon because they were thinking cranberry like the kind out of a can, and I said tomato because it's round and then stuff can drip through. But what are your thoughts? Do you agree with Harry and Debbie and say it's cranberry, or do you say it's a tomato like I say? And it's marked W.M. Rogers extra plate. So, and beautiful detailing on the handle. But I'm going to say tomato. Do you say tomato or cranberry or maybe tomato? And then there's the serving set that is also silver plated Italy. And love them because they're unique shape and the tarnish. Love the tarnish. Then I got it's either cake serving or a pie serving. It says Isabella's silver plate. So there's this one. And I love the detailing and the tarnish. And then I got another spoon, and it doesn't really have any markings on it. But I just loved how old and worn and tarnished it was. Then I have is this a relish fork or a baby fork? Or is it a seafood fork? And it says Japan, Mary Graham stainless. So yeah, it's not as tarnished, but I like the size. And then there's a children's one that's marked Japan, a children's fork. This is definitely a children's fork. So that's the haul. How about a verse? So I have 3 pen pals, a Pam Nelson, an Alexandra, and a Susan. And they live throughout the country. And every once in a while, Alexandra likes to send me places she's visited. She always will save me a little postcard. And I've been saving those and using them in my prayer box each morning to post pictures on. But this one is new to the rotation because I just got it last week, and it's Westminster Abbey as artwork. And the verse I chose is, I am the first and I am the last. There is no other God but me, Isaiah 44:6. So I believe that that's true, that there is only one God, and his name is Jesus Christ, God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost, and that there's just one God. And to me, the best way I saw it explained, because I always had trouble kind of wrapping my head around the fact that how can he be one God, but then there's the Spirit, Jesus, and God the Father. How do those all work together as one God, but there's three separate entities? Well, I'd heard it once described kind of like water, where when you boil it, it becomes steam, and when you freeze it, it becomes ice. So it's still water, just three different forms. I also saw once, which I thought was an amazing illustration, where they did kind of like you've seen of like a side view of like a iceberg, where you've got the water line, and you have the little bitty bit of the iceberg up here that you can see, and then you have this whole huge piece below that you can't. That this little tiny piece is what we can see and understand of God, and all this underneath the water line is what we don't comprehend because he's so grand and great. I've also heard it described as like, if you've ever seen the movie Pleasantville, where everything was in black and white, and then there became some kind of catalyst that opened people's eyes and they saw in color, and that what we can see of God is kind of like black and white 2D. Like what you're watching right now is 2D. I'm not three-dimensional because you can only see the flat surface of me. Where, like if you're standing in person, I would be 3D and dimensional. And what we see of God is the black and white 2D. But with God, Jesus, and the Holy Ghost, it's the whole 3D picture. So I guess there's a lot of ways to look at it. But I guess thinking about it myself, and I love sharing this with you because it helps me also understand my own self, that I don't really care how it's explained or what it looks like, as long as I can believe that there is God the Father, Jesus Christ the Son, and the Holy Ghost, and have a relationship with him because of Christ through the enabling of the Holy Ghost to touch my spirit and connect me to God. None of that other stuff matters. It will, in a sense, take care of itself. So, and that he is the first and the last. He was here before us, and he is timeless and endless and eternal. And there is none but him. And that's very comforting and steadfast to know that how many things can you count on, that even as much as, we love this kind of stuff, and we love this kind of stuff, you can see it ages, it wears away, it breaks down, it gets destroyed, it gets lost, it gets melted, it gets burned. I mean, it can be destroyed and be no more, but nothing can destroy God, because he is that he is. So anyway, there should be a bit of a decorate with me. So thanks for coming, and stay tuned. Here is where I already had one sand dollar, this one. So now I added this one and added this one to go with my mother's vignette for Mother's Day, because this is all the things my mama loved. Some of them were actually her things, but I thought I would add some more sand dollars. I love it. Also, I did a video of me decorating this vignette for her Mother's Day weekend, and I will link that in this description if you missed it and wanted to watch it. Also in this room, you can see my stash of rolling pins is growing, and there's the new one. But, oh my gosh, I know some of them may not be super old, but I guess it's a matter of does it speak to me, and that's why I like it. Because I love this one with the little waffle handles. I like this little one. This one, another waffle handle. This one probably looks a little bit newer, but that's okay. Unless I find some older ones, then I'll replace it maybe. I love that one. I love this old one and that one. Then I have this one, a little worn, but still love it. I basically kind of want that to be full, and then maybe I'll stop. And the last thing I'm going to share on the decorate with me is I'm going to open this so you can see where I put my little house. So there's the little house. Like I said, it reminds me of Laura Ingalls. There's another little one that's pewter that kind of reminds me of it. I guess I should turn around. I guess it was backwards. Then this one. Hello, Lexi. What are you doing? Yeah, I think I'm trying to show people stuff, not you, you silly. Then I have this one, which if I can get it to open onto the light so you can see it better. It's got the little stairway, a little table and chairs, a little bed, a little fireplace, and I just think it's adorable. I got it on Etsy shop. They also had schools and churches and I forget what all, but they were fun. But I love these little houses. There's some seashells. Some of them might have been my mom's. And then that picture that's the I love you symbol Haley made for me. But I love all these little cottages. And then these I believe are Wade's. Wade, they're done in England, but I love the detailing on them. Then we have this one that's another Wade. And then I don't know, I think I got this one on eBay, but I just loved the little size, and it was a Christmas cottage. I don't believe it's marked, but I thought it was adorable. And then that I think is a Lilliput Lane. And then there's the, what do they call them? Cat's Meow Village, because it's Bedford Falls. It's Georgia Mary Bailey's house, and I love It's a Wonderful Life. It's funny, my mom never liked it, I think because they overplayed it. It actually came out the year she was born, but I think she just got tired of it being everywhere. But now they don't do so bad, but I love it. I love the story of it. I think it's amazing. This is another Lilliput Lane. The detailing and the teeny tininess, it's always what gets me every time. And then this is from like an old railroad. Love the little picket fence. And I think I got this, it's heavy, I don't want to move it. I got that at Thrifted. And then this little house, just a wood house. And then up here I have more. This one is, I believe, Orchard House. Orchard House from Little Women. Louisa May Alcott's home. Another Cat's Meow. And then these two little churches, these came from estate sales. I think this one, nope, maybe it's not. I thought maybe it was a Christmas ornament, but I don't see the loop. That also came from estate sale. This came from, it used to be called the Cotton Exchange, but it's no longer there. And it was a railroad house, but I love the detailing on it and the little like garden gazebo area. And then that's the house from Sarah Plain and Tall. Another Lilliput Lane. I believe that's a Lilliput Lane. Then that is another train house. Then a wooden church. And this, I believe, came from an estate sale. I just think they're so cool. Now this is an ornament from an estate sale, but I just thought it was cool and I wanted it here with my houses. And this came from, I believe, Cotton Exchange. That came from, I don't remember. And that's another Lilliput Lane. So I have all of these little houses. I love them. And on the next shelf is just, when I went to the different times I went to Holden Beach and Bald Head Island and collected shells. These are my mom's, except for this one. This one I bought, I don't remember where. But these three are my mom's kaleidoscopes. I don't know if y'all remember kaleidoscopes, but my mama loved those. So she collected those. And, oh, not my sign over. And then those are things that, there we go. You can't read the Bible verse, but angels that remind me of my mom. And there's her own seashells that she had, and then the cardinals. So yeah, this is just a little curio cabinet. Well, there you are. There's the haul and some decorating and the whole shebang. So thanks for coming and joining me. And I hope you come back and have a wonderful day. And bye for now, friends.